bunch of these, what we call vindskydd, which is wind shelters. We've slept in some of these before, the ones that are slightly bigger. This is so pretty. It's not really, we can't get to the lake to swim, so we're not going to stay here. But it is beautiful anyway. Oh. We come here quite a lot. It's a place called Glaskogen, and it's between Fika and Årjäng in Värmland. And it's an absolutely beautiful place, a Nature Reserve, Nature Reserve. This season is obviously extremely busy with tourists. There's a lot of Germans, there's a lot of Dutch, and they've taken all the spots that we would usually go to. So we had to drive around for a bit, and we found some amazing spots. Quite a few that were taken, but this one wasn't. You can see Merjas busy knitting by a lake, living the dream, not doing any of the work. So the last time we came here, a few days ago, we didn't have a bug screen with us, but there were just so many midges. It was unbelievable. And I didn't get any sleep. So I just laid there getting eaten for 5 hours, I guess, and woke up at 4 a.m. or got out of the car at 4 a.m. just to sit by the lake, and at least if I'm going to get eaten, I'm going to get eaten with a view. But this time we came prepared, so I've just bought a basic bug net and used a credit card to push it into the window, to push it into the gaps here, just so there's no spaces for midges to crawl under. It's pretty rudimentary, it's nothing crazy, but it will work. So, and it was super cheap, so yeah, like 35 kronor. $3.50. So before we bought the house, we were actually really invested in the idea of buying a van and just living on the road, as I guess a lot of people have decided to do. And it still feels like a really good idea, but just I think at the time we found the house and it was perfect, and it's not something that we could really turn down. Yeah. So we went and we tested vans, but then we found the house and we made a bid on it, and I guess the rest is history. But for the time being, we've just been using our car, and it goes pretty well. Like, our setup is it's pretty rudimentary, but we have a lot of stuff from camping because we like to camp. I'm not using a sleeping bag today. I'm just using a blanket, but Media's brought hers with her. It's a Mammoth brand. I don't know what the specific model is. And then we both sleep on just these basic air mattresses by Urberg. And then we both have these inflatable pillows by Fox. And the good thing about this is, like van life, we can basically sleep where we want to, and this is the view that we have right now. So the sun sets this way, which means we will have a sunrise in the morning, and that's beautiful. So yeah, that's our setup. It's nothing crazy. We get to lock the car, so it's somewhat secure. If I had my way, we would have a roof tent. It would just be the most amazing thing to have, to just be able to not have to do the setup, just park and have somewhere to sleep straight away. Especially, like, we like to drive a lot, and so sometimes we want to go up north and we spend hours on the road, and we just want to find somewhere really simple to just park up and sleep and then get back on the road again. In which case a roof tent would be awesome. It is something I want to invest in, but we'll let things happen when they happen. IKEA hole, I'm building a fire. As you probably know from some of my videos, I'm not the biggest fan of needless conveniences. Here, we have a lot of time. Now out here in the wild, we don't have any of these conveniences like portable flamethrowers. We'll be using an old-fashioned flint and steel because everybody knows the enjoyment is in the struggle.
Philip, what are you doing?
Nothing. Put the camera away, Merja. We're going to make a little wooden wigwam because I like W's. Wigwam bound, gonna something to do. Call me Kevin Spacey because I'm toppling this house with cards. My little wooden wigwam. I don't know why I'm doing the most impractical way of making a fire, but fuck it. I'm just gonna... Yeah, I know. So, in a few of my last videos, I mentioned the idea of convenience. A lot of you guys actually really liked the talky part, so I figured I'd sit myself down just somewhere pretty, which I hope I managed to achieve, and just ramble a bit. Just talk about my thoughts and just get them out there. And you guys can tell me whether my ramblings are in any way coherent or if it sounds like I'm just going to start lighting up a spoon in the middle of the forest. So the last video I made was the second part of the 4-day challenge that I set myself. And I mentioned at the end that being out in nature so much and removing all distractions had allowed me to think about the concept of convenience and things in general, which I know, super profound. But it stemmed from the question of why don't I just use an excavator to dig up the potato bed? Or a previous question that I'd had, which is why don't you invest in a snowplow in order to plow your driveway every day rather than shoveling it by hand? Now, of course, investing in these things would save a bunch of time and a bunch of effort in order to achieve the things that I want to achieve. That potato bed probably would have ended up taking a few hours rather than a few days, which it took more than 2 days to make, I believe. Investing in a snowplow to get rid of the snow from my driveway would save me maybe 45 minutes of valuable time every day during the winter. There's nothing to scoff at, of course. And the simple answer that I can give for why I don't invest in these conveniences is I just don't think I've earned them. A lot of my life has been based around conveniences at every single turn. And when I say that a machine to plow the snow from my driveway would save me maybe 45 valuable minutes every day, where does that value actually come from if I haven't struggled enough to realize what I'm gaining? It would seem that minutes are valuable because they're of limited quantity, they're few and fleeting. And I think because of this, time is valued more than what you do in that time. Time is just the vessel, and what you do should be the thing that's valued. But I think that people have it backwards a lot of the time, and people do place the value in the time and the fact that it is fleeting. People want to maximize the amount of time that they have rather than the amount of fulfillment that they have within that time. I'm not sure that those 45 valuable minutes that I save every day by investing in a machine is actually valuable if my time ends up going towards shallow distractions like watching TV or going on Instagram or playing Flappy Bird, if that's still a game that you can play. Whereas 45 minutes of shoveling snow every day during the winter for a long enough time will eventually teach me just how valuable that time is, especially for someone like me who grew up surrounded by conveniences, just non-stop look for the most convenient solution at all times. So only when the struggle has been adequately realized is when I can truly feel grateful for products or tools that I invest in to make my life easier. I hope that makes sense. In my head, it makes perfect sense. And obviously there is a realistic limit here. We're not all going out and grinding our own flour and stuff like this. We're not making our own fire, or are we? But that's just one aspect of it, because I realize that the exact concept of convenience applies to knowledge and ideas too, in a way that would really be reflective of what we see in the world today. Everything comes at a cost. Nothing is free. We've all heard that. I believe that. I think that convenience also comes at the cost of meaning. Putting in effort towards the process means something. It means a lot, but it's so much less tangible than the outcome, than what we see, the product of the process. So nowadays it's really easy to just go online, consume any topic, find an opinion about basically anything, and hold that opinion as your own, because at the end of the day, maybe it seems reasonable to you, and to us right now, that seems like a reasonable take. You go online, you find something that you agree with, and you are now equipped with an idea in your head that makes sense to go forward with. That's why when I see conversations online, it feels kind of uncanny, because people seem to have the same phrases that are said over and over again, regardless of who you're speaking to, and it seems like everybody's equipped with a response to an argument at all times. It's like everyone's prepared. They've got a few arguments in the chamber just ready. That's weird. I don't even think it's possible to have so many different, fully formed opinions on so many topics if they were formed in a grassroots manner. So what I'm trying to say is, when it comes to discourse, nowadays it seems like the effort that it would take for somebody to come to a conclusion on any particular matter isn't coming from a struggle for an idea to try and get the right idea across, but more so from consuming information that was heard, liked, adopted, and repeated. And so all of the ideas that we hold had to have come from somewhere. Somebody has to have come up with those ideas. And chances are, those ideas took years to make. Years of doubt, of navigating different scenarios, of sleepless nights because you're constantly arguing with yourself. And I can imagine it's pretty difficult to come up with an original idea, something like that. And it's probably there. It's probably the years of struggle that really allows somebody to understand and empathize with the value of an idea. Without that struggle, the respect that you have for ideas is ultimately going to be less for the most part. Like, without having to go through that struggle yourself, how could it be fully appreciated? Drone.
There's a duck.
Oh, wow. Huh. But if you came up with your initial thought and belief yourself with the struggle that I mentioned, I feel like it would be so much easier for you to be able to sympathize and be charitable to another person's thought or opinion, because you're aware of the amount of struggle that it takes to come to that idea or opinion. It probably wasn't picked out of the air. On the other end, if you've just consumed an opinion and decided to take it on as your own, you've kind of forgotten any of the struggle. And so why wouldn't you think that other people have just done the same thing? When so many ideas and opinions on different topics are so easy to consume and adopt, it just feels like the average person isn't going to have had the time to be able to actually fully think about the topic. Maybe they've watched videos or read articles from the way that other people think, which are probably based on interpretations of the way other people think. But that isn't the same as actually coming to an opinion, coming to a belief in your own way. And then on top of that, when ideas are so easy to come across, where does the value lie? In the same way that a machine to plow my driveway would save me valuable time, then we have to define what value is. So when it comes to ideas, if they're so easy to come across, so easy to adopt, so easy to dismiss, etc., where is the value in it? Without the life experiences to back the idea, without the inner turmoil, the years of doubt and second guessing yourself, what does the idea actually mean to you? Like, an idea is obviously going to be weaker, it's going to be more fragile if you haven't got the structural integrity that came from the time and the effort that was placed into forming that opinion. And fragile ideas are easier to break. You're going to have to find other ways to defend an idea. You're going to have to be louder. You're going to have to be quicker to argue. You're going to have to be more defensive, which I don't know about you, but I definitely see that nowadays and definitely have partaken in it. Absolutely, I am a really bad example of that. And again, it's literally just something I'm thinking through. I had the thought, I wanted to tell you guys about it because it seems that every time I have something to say, you guys have amazing responses and really cool insights. And so I just think it's more fun to get it out into the open. And of course, everyone is guilty of this to some extent. I know I definitely am, for sure, because for some reason my mind just associates things being complex or complicated with them being intelligent, which isn't the case. It's just my brain thinks that the more moving parts there are to something, the more impressive it is. That's something that I've noticed in myself and something that I'm trying to kind of be aware of, I guess. But this whole idea came from the 4-day challenge that I did, where I wasn't being distracted. I was just literally out in nature, just doing tasks one at a time and seeing how much I could get done and how I'd feel about it. But just being out in nature, of course without distractions, but also without motive. Like, I'm currently out here to film a video, which is a motive, and even like maybe escaping stress would be a motive. But trying to get out in nature without that motive seems to be really helpful, because it makes you realize just how made up everything is, especially when you compare it to nature, which just seems to be naturally intentional. Just everything is here for a reason. When you look at it up close, it seems pretty chaotic. There's no pattern to the way a leaf moves, for instance. But when you zoom out, just it seems like everything is happening because that is the way it's meant to. I feel like I'm tripping balls right now, Jesus. I haven't even touched the mushrooms yet. Nature is just what it is, and it does what it does. And when some of humanity's biggest bragging rights, achievements, are technological advancement, how far we've managed to separate ourselves from the natural world to a point where we hardly even have to acknowledge its existence if we don't want to, then maybe that's where a lot of the issues that we see in the world come from. That we no longer rely on ourselves to come up with ideas and be okay with the fact that maybe we're not going to have an opinion on everything, and maybe we don't need to have an opinion on everything. I'll finish it up with an analogy, and then we'll go back to looking at the pretty nature, because it is pretty. In professional sports, you rarely ever hear players talking about other players as being shit. Like, you're never going to hear a player from, I don't know, the Edmonton Oilers ice hockey team say something negative about a specific player on the Vancouver Canucks. Like, you're never going to hear McDavid say, "Oh, Elias Pettersson is a shit player," because he's aware of the effort that it takes to be the best of the best, or one of the best, to a point where you're in the NHL. But go a few steps removed from being a player. Ask a fan what they think of an opposing team's player, and I reckon a lot of the time you'll really get to hear how shit a professional sports player is, which I think says something. Now let's stare at the lake a bit. Oh, my ass is dead.
Fire. Fire. Fire.
Hey, want to see my pocket rocket? It's right here, actually. This is helpful. It's a. Is that a wolf?
No.
It's a wolf or a duck. This is my MSR pocket rocket. It's a lifesaver. I broke the case, but it's really fast, really light, and we'll be using it for really luxurious cuisines like Instamash. I hope you can hear that. Hey guys, tell me in the comments, is that a duck or a wolf? Bellissimo. God morgon.
It's a bit more cloudy than I thought it was going to be.
It tastes so good. Alright. Breakfast is healthy. Ellie's having instant noodles. She's been working on her socks this time. So she's starting on the heel. Doesn't look like a sock right now.
No.
And I'm gonna go a bit more Swedish with skinkost, which is ham cheese. It's like a spreadable ham cheese, and it's really good. And I'm gonna put it on hörnerkaka. Hörnerkaka is pretty cool. It's somewhere quite close to Gothenburg, like an island, pretty, and it's a completely different biome from what you'd expect from the rest of Sweden. I'll put up an image. Did you know that Sweden has the most islands of any country in the entire world? Which is really weird to think about. Nu kör vi. Kavli, if you want to sponsor me. I'm a big fan of your ham cheese. Super appetizing, look at it. Tastes just like I would expect from ham cheese. There are a bunch of feelings that can be the best feelings in the world, and one of them is waking up in the morning just in nature when you've been camping. Just when you open the door and it's just like super fresh outside, and then you just have a coffee. That was one of the reasons that we wanted to have van life, and that would be a really good reason for van life. To just be able to open the door, just be anywhere you want. I don't know, the air smells super fresh. Like, I don't know why, but you can smell everything. Like, I can smell pines right now, but I wasn't able to smell it at nighttime. But I can smell the pines from the trees.
I can smell hörnerkaka.
You can smell hörnerkaka, okay. But it's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, duck.
Oh.
Or goose. Can you see the duck or goose? We heard a duck yesterday, or a goose, and it sounded like a drone.
Yeah.
It was so weird. Super cool. What were you gonna say before I cut you off last time?
Yeah, that we actually came to visit this area
Oh yeah.
for our Valentine's trip.
Yeah. That is the reason that we chose Värmland.
Yeah.
We had a Valentine's trip just to a place called Kil in Värmland, and it's a beautiful area. Like, if you haven't been there, I would highly recommend it. But we came in wintertime, or in February, when it was really, really cold. And we were just exploring, and we found this area. And I guess we wanted to camp, but maybe we thought it was too cold. Oh no, because we were in a hotel. Yeah.
We were staying in an Airbnb or a bed and breakfast. And
Really
then,
beautiful.
yeah, we wanted to go and visit nature in the area.
That's true. Okay, yeah. Okay, so just like 5 minutes down the road is where we ended up, or maybe a bit longer than 5 minutes, but the same Nature Reserve, Glaskogen. And when we came here, it was so cool. I have a drone shot of the water, but it was different colors of ice, and it was really cool sounding. You can't hear the sounds from my shot, but we'll come here in the winter and I'll try and record it, because it was kind of just like really deep bellowing cracks from the ice. It was super cool, and it just looked all windswept. That's a good question, actually. For any of you who have camped in a car, or in a roof tent, actually, for that matter, we have never camped below freezing temperatures. So how is it to camp in a car or a tent box in freezing temperatures? If any of you have done it, that would be really cool to hear. Oh. My coffee's perfect. Yep. I could just have Kenko. I could just have like instant coffee that would taste amazing. So I was just about to go in the water and I noticed there's a leech here. Look at him. Hello, buddy. Well, if I do get poisoned, you can help me. Okay, no rocks. Oh, it's nice.
Can you touch the bottom there?
I can't touch the bottom. Oh, it's beautiful. Woo!
Rolla!
Ah. Ah.
You sound like a baby cheetah.
Berätta! Kråla lite!
Va?
Kråla lite! Kråla! Kråla! Kråla!
So we learned two things today. One, leeches are kind of rare in Sweden, not awfully common. And two, they can live to 15 years old, which is crazy.
Yeah. So once it's feeding, it's storing the blood in its belly along its guts, and then it doesn't have to eat for at least 9 months.
Yeah. Video title: I swam in leech-infested waters. That'll do it.
And they're still used in modern medicine. They're using leeches in some cases to save transplanted body parts with bad circulation.
I have bad circulation.
Jungle George.
Tarzan is handsome, Tarzan is cool, great. Ugh. Oh my god.
Huh?
There's ants everywhere. Oh, the millions of ants. Oh.
Karma, bitch.
Yeah. Varmskogs Café. Highly recommended. Can you tell that I've tanned? My watch strap. Oh, no.